Welcome to the Cromer Craft Network. My name's Paul Miller, and I'm the guy that makes all these leashes with all this different stuff. And people that know me as the leash guy. Years ago, my name used to be Dog Tack, and I sold lots of different types of tack. We've been making all of our own over the last couple of years since I ended up opening up this back part of our place into a craft shop and got some really good old German sewing machines. So we can do some great stuff now. So this is what we call a training jimmy. Years ago I had a leash that was chewed off, and a friend of mine and I were working on some leashes just for ourselves way back then, and we turned it into a little training jimmy. That's what he called it. So I always think of the little leashes like this that have some rings and stuff. It's just a little thing to do some training with. Now I've turned it into a few things. I use this as a coupler, and I use it as a tie-out for training. And it goes into the whole system that I have. And there's 3 or 4 different parts depending on how many dogs you walk. So these are 2 new leashes we're adding into our collection as some of my favorite. In fact, this last one here I'm going to keep. And the one on the bottom is really, we called it a mini quartster, which is really a long jimmy with a second handle. Now these 2 together make a perfect walking system for walking 2 big dogs. So we're going to go over some of the features. And the one on the top, as I mentioned, is called a training jimmy. It's just a little leash that you can keep on you when you're working dogs, and you can move dogs around. And I like being able to clip a dog into a spot. And the other one's really for a really big dog. It's pretty heavy English leather, and we've done some new knot work. This knot right here it's a German knot that goes on top of a blood knot, and it's unique because it ends up being in the center, and that's what's unique about it. So some of the other knots that we do, which over time used to be known as blood knots, I've spent the last few years sitting there figuring out different ways to do them, so we've got a lot of them calculated, and there's only one way to do some of these knots. You can't do them any other way, and that's what's unique about some of our leashes is you can't just go and make this leash in a hurry. It takes a lot of time and energy to figure out the ways that it doesn't work before you get to the exact right spot where everything just looks right.